I've just decided that I'm no longer fucking paying my bills. Like, I haven't paid my rent in 2 months, and I'm completely content with the fact that I may get kicked out. And I'm grateful enough to not be homeless because my parents love me enough to let me move in with them, but they're fucking NPCs. So if they get on my nerves too bad, I will just fucking leave. But I would rather spend my money on things that I care about, experiences with my child, taking my child places, shit like that. I've just
So listen, there's choices and consequences, right? Choices and trade-offs. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. I've said it before here. If you want to be selfish with your life and you want to do things your way, yeah, go for it. Absolutely go for it. The problem arises when you have children, right? That's when the selfish time was supposed to be put at the end and you're supposed to be doing things for the betterment of your child. That's it. That's your duty, right? And you know the verbiage. They didn't ask to be here. You brought them here, and this is what you're doing. The at the very least, what we should be providing is a safe place for everyone to rest their head. More specifically, your kids. Calling your parents NPCs, it just shows like there's this entitlement, there's this lack of gratitude about your situation, about what could happen. We see countless videos here of women saying they're homeless, they have their kids, they live in their car. Yeah, some turn out to not to be true. Others are very real. That's the very real reality for a lot of people. And to just have the ability to pay for your housing, for your rents, but deciding I'm just not going to because I want to live, I want to have more experiences. That's a complete indicative problem that we have today. If you don't want these to have to make these hard decisions, then I the best you can do is return your adulting package. But I've been trying to do that for the better part of my life and no luck so far. So let's before we continue about this, and we're going to talk money. Um, guys, continue to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. So listen, I get it. You don't want to pay, right? You don't want to pay for your rent. You don't want to pay this, and you feel like you have a safety harness. You can just pull the ripcord and you can go live with your parents. Your parents, why would they have any sort of problems or any type of financial strain in their life? They're getting to the point where they're in the golden years where they're supposed to be living off a fixed income because this is supposed to last them for the rest of your life. In fact, if they've done things as you may hope, they may be able to leave you something. But instead, when we return to the nest because life is too difficult, yes, and sometimes that's necessary, but do it when it's necessary. Do it when you have to do it because it puts a financial strain on your parents. And in this case, this woman just saying, you just don't want it. You want to spend your money on the things you want to spend your money on. And you going back to live with your parents isn't simply just you, it's also your child. There's also going to be instances when you want to go out, you want to enjoy your life, and you want them to watch your child. What we see generationally happening now is the nest is no longer empty with adult children. They're coming back to live because life is too expensive. The economy isn't doing what the economy should be doing. The economy is not economy, right? So, what does that mean for retirement? What does that mean for your parents? Because they plan meticulously for years and years and years for what retirement looks like for them, i.e., their mortgage, their rent, their bills, their medical issues. They plan meticulously for that. What we don't do in this society, we don't plan on having our kids come back and be an added expense. What does that mean for your parents? It means they're going to have to continue to work, regardless of any type of medical issues, any type of desire, want. They're going to have to continue to work just to be able to support you. We're coming into one of the first times in history where across the board that yes, the elderly have to work more. They have to still go and actually, work these jobs when they're 70, 65, 70, when they're past retirement age. Also, we're trying to, some senators, some lawmakers are trying to extend the retirement age. They're trying to increase it. So you're working longer. Third, having to take care of their adult children later in life. Again, this is not something that you plan for, and retirement should be a heavily planned upon strategy, heavily planned upon set of strategies. You shouldn't just sort of wake up and here your retirement time and like, okay, this is what I have. This should be something that you planned out because it's kind of morbid. It's thinking I need to have enough income to last me how long I believe I will live. In the Black community, when we talk about generational wealth, talk about passing things down, You can't pass on. If there's just debt left, there's nothing to pass on. Yes, sometimes what you're passing on is a set of values and skills that you've instilled into your children, but depending on the economy, those skills may not be transferable to actual currency. So what do people try to leave? Houses, retirement accounts sometimes. Um, some sort of asset, some sort of value. What you don't want to do is have more liabilities, and you have more liabilities by ignoring your responsibilities. Please, someone write that one down, send that to me. That's a nice, easy. In this case, when you're living for today, when you just want to enjoy yourself, you put that burden on someone else, your loved ones, your parents. That's irresponsible of you. I think that's fair to say. Whatever side you find yourself on this coin, that's irresponsible. Put your financial struggles on your parents who've done what they can and are responsible for their own lives. For those of us that are millennials, we're around that age where we need to get deadly serious about what retirement looks like. You need to sit down with a financial planner. You need to actually have a roadmap that's going to take you down to the promised land, because you don't want to be, and I'm sure some people have seen it, you ordered Uber Eats, you DoorDashed, ordered something from Grubhub, or you've gone into some establishments and you see, say you go into Walmart, you see a greeter, and that person is past retirement age. Some people are working there just because they like to be out and about, and some people need the job. There's countless stories on here, and it's not new. That's not new. Where people have been forced to take jobs in retirement because things did not plan out the way they did. Sometimes the scams solved. Sometimes they just did not have their eyes on the prize. And I don't want that to be someone here in the audience. I want you guys to have a better idea of what it looks like. And if you say I'm too young, because some of the demographics are 18 years old, this is the best time for you to start planning. This is the best time for you to start putting away even something that seems small, seems insignificant. If it means that, yeah, you have to go in and pick up your food rather than DoorDash it or Uber Eats it, then do that, right? Then do that. Just get a plan. If you're later on in your life, like the rest of us, you know, you need to have a concrete set of goals that you're actually living by. It's time. If you don't have anything in your retirement, you have to. I don't like to talk, about Dave Ramsey, but that beans and rice strategy, you need to adopt something like that where if you plan on living, living, period. Or more importantly, if you have children, you want to pass on something to them, and something that is, again, more than just an ideal system, more than just saying, yeah, you know what, you get after it, you get that. No, no, no. Something that's going to help them when you're not here, something that gives them a leg up. If we're trying to decrease the advantages that other races or other people have on us, what do we do? How do we do that? Well, you do that by giving them a leg up financially. If I never have kids, then my niece gets the empire. She gets everything that I've ever created, everything that I've ever saved, in order to decrease the her starting distance from some other race, some other person. I want her to have the best. I want her to have the best options. That's what we're supposed to do as the generation before. That's our goal. That's what should be the goal. Not leaning back into our parents to say, I'm going to make. Unfortunately, I didn't thrive. I had a failure to thrive. So now, and only because I want to have more experiences. I had a kid early. I want to have more experiences. So this is the most important thing to me. What is important to you does not matter to me. I just need you for your resources and a place to stay. I just don't want you to do that to your parents. Hate them or love them. Hate them or love them, right? Hate them or love them. Don't do that to your parents. Again, like I say on the channel, my mom watches the channel, right? I don't want to worry her or anything like that. So, guys, if you agree, you have something to add, let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate you guys when you take the time to write and we have an actual decent back and forth. It makes doing this all this worth it. I'll see you in the next one.